Welcome back to the Badass Literature Society, where badasses come together to rate and review novels recommended by you. Hi, I'm Michael.
This is Barbara.
And I'm Lauren.
Today we'll be answering some fun, lighthearted, and spontaneous book-related questions, also some holiday questions in there, without any time to prepare. Some of them are holiday-themed, others are not. I have a list of 20 questions. When it's your turn, you will roll a 20-sided dice and give me the number, and I'll give you your question, and then we will all answer that question after the first person does. And the dice are employed because since I have the list of questions, it wouldn't be fair if I was just cherry-picking questions for me to start on. So, without further ado, Barbara, will you give me your first roll?
A 2.
A 2. If you could create a holiday based on a book, what would it celebrate and how would people observe it?
Okay, this is way more intense than you first said.
I feel like I needed more prep time
that
for this.
was a lie. A holiday based on... So what do you mean by a holiday based on a book? Like a theme of a book or like a setting of a book? Like, I feel like we can get really specific.
I mean, I think you could go anywhere with it. Like,
Dealer's
you could just make
choice.
it as simple as something like Lord of the Rings Day. Or you could make it like some more specific thing based on a setting or place. It's totally up to you.
Okay, read the question again.
One more time?
Yeah, of course. If you could create a holiday based on a book, what would it celebrate and how would people observe it?
A holiday based on a book. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. A holiday based off... Can I be like Taylor Swift Day? There's got to be a book out there about Taylor Swift, right? I don't know.
There's actually several children's books now for Taylor Swift themed.
Okay.
Oh, really?
I don't know. So, after much deliberation, which you guys did not see, I have decided to pick an Edgar Allan Poe short story called The Cask of Amontillado, where we would celebrate. Everyone would dress up in costume, and if you know the story, everyone has to have a mask on, and then we would celebrate by just partying all night, and at the end, someone gets to get locked up against the wall and die that way. Wouldn't that be fun? I think that would be fun. I actually want more of the aspect of just, I always thought it would be fun to do that.
That's terrifying.
Not the walling up of somebody. Getting to party in that environment, I thought that would be a fun
Michael, blink twice if you're safe.
But that would be my holiday, you know. I think that would be kind of interesting. So think of it like a horror story. I was thinking of it more like that, you know, where it's like you're having fun and then are you the unlucky victim that gets walled up? Who's to know? Hopefully you didn't pick that number when you entered the party.
Moral of the story, if Barbara invites you to a Halloween party and it's Edgar Allan Poe themed, maybe don't go.
Maybe decline that information. Yeah. RSVP, no.
And if you get to her house and she's doing renovations, maybe leave.
I don't know. I feel like, it's funny because like during the holidays, I get into like I want to read horror books and I don't want to read horror books during not Thanksgiving, during Halloween time. Cause like that's stereotypical, you know, I don't want to do that. So during December of the other holidays, I think it's fun to be scared. And that's when I want to read my horror books. So that's kind of where my mindset is. If anyone needs an explanation, which you guys don't clearly, but that's why I went there. And I just thought that would be kind of a fun TV show or movie.
Could be.
Anywho, there's my answer.
All right, so my answer would be, I have always, ever since reading The Lord of the Rings, thought it would be fun to actually go to like Bilbo's birthday party that we see at the beginning of Fellowship.
Oh, I don't remember it anymore. It's been too long.
Oh, well. It's a big party thrown in Hobbiton. Gandalf shows up, does some fireworks.
Oh, yes. Now I remember.
Yeah. I think that would be a fun day. And especially if you could somehow like host it. It would be celebrated in New Zealand.
What's the holiday called?
Hobbiton. Well, Hobbit Day, a.k.a. Bilbo's birthday.
And you observe it by fireworks and festivities?
You observe it by...
growing the hair out of your feet.
Yep. growing foot hair,
No Shave
and
November. Got
you
it.
celebrate it through a feast where lots of fantastic foods will be served, and lots of ale and wine will be drank, and then a wizard will be there who will do fireworks.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I think mine would be Dr. Seuss Day, except for I know that Dr. Seuss already technically has a day observed in his memory or whatever. So we'll call it Seuss Fest. And the way that you must observe this day is you may speak only in rhymes for the duration of the day. And if you are caught speaking in anything other than a rhyme, then
You come to my party.
you don't have to go to Barbara's party. That is a cruel and unusual punishment for that. But you must, you then you have to speak in rhymes for the following day
Eat
until you
green
can
eggs
do
and
it
ham.
perfectly. Yeah, you have to eat green eggs and ham, all that you can eat until you vomit. No,
It feels
that's
like
all.
it could be like a dystopian future novel where dictator Lauren forces us to all rhyme for a
I'm
day.
so bad at that. I would lose.
It
I
would
would
be
just
awful.
not talk. People I'd be like, no, do not
Yeah.
speak to me.
Don't speak to me.
Barbara would have so many days of mandated rhyming that she would just slowly lose her mind.
No,
She
I would
could-
just be. It would be Barbara's Silence Day, and I just
She could
wouldn't
just
talk.
put a sign on her dress
Yeah.
that said,
No speaking.
no speaking today. I can't rhyme. So do not
Okay.
say.
There you go. No speaking today. I can't rhyme. Okay.
Right. There we go.
There we go. All right. I will roll now for our second question. Number 4. What is a book that gives you cozy winter vibes? What is a book that gives you cozy winter vibes? I feel like I'm going to cheat and just do the one we read recently for the podcast and go with Legends and Lattes. Because that definitely had there were some winter scenes in that. It definitely had some cozy vibes. That's what I'm going with.
Does it have to be cozy?
Barbara's choice is going to be about murder again. Lauren, you are up though. What is your cozy winter vibes book?
Yes, I am trying to remember the name of it. Give me one moment to go to my Goodreads. It would probably fall under the category of Hallmark.
Well, she does that. You should. Those of you can't see on video. Barbara does have a distinct advantage because she is sitting in to the side of her are all the bookshelves with the books on it. So when she's thinking through what book she's choosing for something, she just turns her head and she's got it all right there.
That's not fair. That's an unfair
How's that
advantage.
not fair? This is literally my bookcase in my room.
It's an unfair advantage to this impromptu situation.
I earned this advantage.
I did it on purpose. Yes. Ooh, does it have to be cozy?
Yes.
It's just a book that gives you cozy winter vibes.
Okay, so in that regard, then, okay, I read the book called The Midnight Girls, and it takes place, well, I shouldn't say it takes place because it's a fantasy world, but it's based off of, I don't know, like, what is a cold European country that not a lot of people, like, it's not like, oh, here's England. It's like a smaller little, anyways, it doesn't matter. It's cold, and they do sleigh rides, or they have sleigh rides in the book, and they do ice skating and stuff. Granted, they're trying to murder someone and steal their heart, but that's not the part we're focusing on. We're focusing on the aspect of the winter vibes, and that's kind of what I picture, because I was like, oh, that book had winter. Because if you think about it, not a lot of books kind of have winter unless it's a Christmas themed book or a holiday themed book, and this has nothing to do with the holidays. It just so happened that the setting is winterish, and so that's why I thought this, and I wanted to do more of that instead of like, well, this takes place when they're celebrating the holidays and trying to find a love interest and pretending they love each other and date fake things and all this stuff. So that's why. There we go.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan.
So I have never heard of that. So you're going to have to give us a little bit so we know what you're talking about.
So Jenny Colgan writes a bunch of these. So she's the author of like the Little Beach Street Bakery books, which are more popular, but you guys still probably wouldn't know about them because they're very much like a beach read situation. But she writes a bunch of just like feel good, like Hallmark-esque, predictable, easy reads. But this one is basically like the main character works in a big department store, but then it closes, and so then she ends up moving in with family, and they live in like a little Scottish town or whatever, and it's super quaint. And then all of the things unwind, and of course there's a love story in there.
Does
So.
the multimillionaire leave from New
Yeah.
York and go to this fake town and fall in love with?
Similar, yes.
That's funny. All right, that's a good answer. It's cozy winter vibes.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
Lauren, unfortunately, because you delayed it and you went last, it's now your turn to roll and you get to go first.
11.
11.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best bookish gift you've ever received?
The best bookish gift. It would be a tie between the Kindle that Barbara gave me when she got a new one that I still use, and I need to probably upgrade it at some point, but because I want a waterproof one. But alas, I still use that one and it still works great. So it's probably a tie between that and the built-in bookshelf that my husband did for our basement when we finished our basement. So I have like a bookshelf, like a floor to ceiling corner situation, and then like the coziest reading chair. And so that was a gift from him that
Very nice.
I enjoy
Goals.
as well. Yes. But it's on the other side of this wall that I'm looking at, so I don't get to cheat and look at my
Cheat.
Also most of my books are technically I don't have, not all of them are hard copies anymore.
Right.
A lot of them
I
are
have
on
both
my phone, so
because I need both.
I almost want to tell her, Barbara, like what part of her Christmas is that's a bookish gift, because I think it could have been a contender, but spoilers for Christmas. So,
well, if we do this one again, maybe it'll be a contender.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe so.
Mine would have to be, I feel like I have to pick my Kindle because so like obviously I love physical books. Clearly, I still have a massive bookshelf and I've already ran out of space on that, but we're not talking about that. But like reading Kindles as someone who likes to travel and someone who likes to read at the beach and someone who just likes it's a lifesaver. And also it's really what is the word, accessible, because like you can change the font, you can do a lot of stuff with it, so that's kind of nice for that purpose. So I would have to say it's my Kindle, and yeah, it just makes reading a lot easier for how I read during my lunch and stuff like that. I can still shovel food down my throat and have a book in one hand. But yeah, I have the waterproof one, and that I was like foaming at the mouth waiting for them to release that one. When they did, I was like, yay. And I believe Michael got that one for me.
I believe I did. Mine is book, actually. So when Barack Obama's book A Promised Land came out in 2020, I was wavering about whether I wanted to buy a signed copy. I really wanted one. By the time I decided I was going to get it, I couldn't get it anymore. And then lo and behold, Barbara had ordered a signed copy of the book for me and surprised me with it. And that was a very exciting gift. I take very good care of that book. I also bought the ebook, so I wouldn't like damage.
I was going to say, did you even open it?
Obama. I mean, to look at it, yes, I
Yeah.
did. I did not read the copy that was signed by him because I did not want to like tarnish the book. But that's on the shelf that Barbara keeps looking at over there. Yeah. That was exciting. I really liked that book. And that gift was very sweet of her. And also mischievous because she watched me be all sad that I couldn't get the copy. And there was a new in her head, like,
Exactly. That was exactly the sound in my head.
That's what I always think about when you send me that evil emoji. Anyway.
Ooh, 11? I feel like we just did that one.
We just did 11.
Oh, no. How about 13? Oh, Taylor Swift's lucky number.
13 will work. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Hit me, Sucks.
Which book character from any book would make the best Santa Claus?
Oh. Huh. Hagrid?
Oh,
that's such a good answer.
That's the first one that popped in my head.
But now I can't use that one.
I'm trying to avoid Harry Potter, but like my brain just went to Hagrid because he is such a good character and very, very Santa
He'd be the
Claus.
best Santa.
But like an alcoholic Santa, you know? So that's my answer, Hagrid.
I'm going to do doesn't really make sense, but I think it's funny anyway. So I'm going to say Harry Dresden from the Dresden Files. He's a wizard, modern day wizard. I don't think either of you have read the Dresden Files books, any of them, but I think that he would be a funny Santa Claus because with magical power, it would help that he could handle those things, but he would also be just like very blasé and sarcastic the entire time, and that would be entertaining. So that's my choice.
Okay, since Barbara took the better of the two options that I was considering, I'll go with Dumbledore. And I think that he would be an adequate
Dumbledore.
Santa because not movie Dumbledore, but book Dumbledore. But you could really do movie or meme. I guess it wouldn't really matter because I feel like he'd be the best Santa because he's like, there's 50 points for you. 50 points.
I mean, as long as you were
As long as you're Gryffindor, you're
As long as you're
set.
and Harry,
Gryffindor.
then sure.
Yes. I don't know. I think Hagrid would probably be a better one, but I can't think of anybody from any other books that I would select for that.
See, I was looking at the books that are behind me, and it's like my comics, graphic novels, and manga. And so the thing that popped up that I thought would be funny also, just as an extra answer, is Merle from Sin City. I'm pretty sure you both have seen that movie. Mickey Rourke's character. He'd bring you a gift, but then he'd beat the heck out of you.
Sin City, Merle was his name in The Walking Dead.
No. Merle was his name in Sin City. You're
Okay.
thinking about Mickey Rourke, the big boxing guy that has bandages all over his hands.
Mickey Rourke.
I don't know any of these, so
Who's I don't know if I know Mickey Rourke.
I think
Was
it's
he an
Mickey Rourke.
Iron Man? Is that
He
Mickey
was. He
Rourke?
was the bad guy in Iron Man
With
2.
the little
Yeah, the Russian guy that had the
whips?
electric whips. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't remember him in Sin City, my bad.
Okay. Marv was his name, not Merle. That's because I got his name wrong. Marv.
See? There we go. It's not
Marv.
me, that's the problem.
It's the first story in Sin City. He's the one that, like with Jessica Alba, he goes there and like protects her.
Oh, yes. Now
Wakes
I
up with
remember.
Goldie, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Anywho, sidetrack. 19. Oh boy, I was hoping I wouldn't get this one, and I got it for myself. Which
I'll have to
holiday movie or story would you love to see reimagined as a novel, and who would you want to write it? Ah, man. So I'm going to choose to focus on like holiday story personally. So like the classic holiday stories, and then reimagined. There's so many interesting choices. So I'm going to do two. I'm going to say Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, reimagined as grim dark fantasy written by Joe Abercrombie, which would be an incredibly R-rated take on Rudolph, but would be very funny to read. Or Frosty the Snowman in the styling of Stephen King. Frosty the Murderous Snowman.
You guys got mad at me for doing horror. Now you're doing it.
I know.
Hear it.
I did. No, first answer was grim dark fantasy. Second answer was horror. Both are dark answers, though. To your point, but
I feel like mine, and I don't know of any books that this is based on. But if it is already, then so be it. But the movie The Holiday, I love that movie, and I don't think it's based on a book, but it very well could be.
That's the one with Jude Law and Jack Black, right?
Yeah, so they I think so. Like basically, it's like a lady in California and then a lady in like Scotland or somewhere quaint, and then they like house swap for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Ireland. Yeah, I loved that movie, and I would love to read it in a book version if it doesn't already exist.
What's the question?
The question is, which holiday movie or holiday story would you love to see reimagined as a novel, and who would you want to write it?
Oh, okay. I was thinking backwards. So it's a movie that's already been done, or a story that's
but I didn't answer the part about who I would want to write it.
Lauren did a movie because she picked The Holiday, which is the Christmas movie, and I picked like traditional Christmas stories in different style.
I'll have to think about who I want to write it. I'll come back to me.
Okay. We'll let Barbara do her answer, and then you can give the author.
Oof. Okay. Well, I was under regardless, I thought it was like a holiday story and redo it in a movie. So my mind did it backwards. So now I'm thinking, okay, so a movie. So the only movie that comes to mind for me that's holiday themed is either A Nightmare Before Christmas. Is that considered a holiday movie?
I would say that's a holiday movie.
Or Love Actually. Are the
either of those would be qualified.
So do I want to ruin? I feel like maybe we do Love Actually because I was obsessed with that movie, but like it's super problematic nowadays. So maybe redo it and remove the problematic parts of it. And I think the only reason, well, it's not the only reason, but one of the reasons why I really, really loved that movie was because there was a actual Portuguese actress, and she spoke Portuguese as someone who doesn't get to see that often. It kind of was like, oh, cool representation. Even though she's not Brazilian, she's literally Portuguese. But, I was like, latch on into anything. So it would be kind of cool to see that maybe done in like a Brazilian way instead of like, because this is a UK version. So I think maybe redo it Brazil way, and I guess the actresses and stuff like that would just be, I could name all the Brazilian actors and nobody would know, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do that, but I
To
think
be
that's
fair,
what I would do.
I might know some, but not very many. But I'm gonna give myself a little credit there because I've watched some Brazilian stuff with you.
So I think that's what I would do. I would do Love Actually Brazil version is what I would do. Oh, but it's an author. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm redoing it as a movie. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. As a book. Well, cool. I will just have the book version of it, and it would be.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
No,
A Brazilian version.
Lost.
Yeah.
I went over here on the tangent on the left side. It's fine. But yeah.
So what I thought you were saying is that you were doing like Love Actually, but as a book in
Brazilian
the style
author.
of like the New York I Love You kind of thing. So just city swap it and have it take place somewhere in Brazil, and then be written by. Do you have a Brazilian author in mind to do that?
I mean, I feel like he would make it. It wouldn't be a love story anymore. It would be like Paulo Coelho would just make it into like this whole thing. I don't know.
Which one do you like that better anyway?
I mean, I guess it wouldn't have like the whole like stupid part of the movie that I kind of like. So I don't know. I would need more time to think about that one.
Fair enough. Lauren, did you have an author, or are we moving on to the next question?
Yes, Emily Henry. She would do a good job of writing that, I feel.
Who is Emily Henry?
She writes a bunch of like rom-com easy, but like People We Meet on Vacation is one that I've read from her, and like Happy Place. She's like
I looked her up. I've seen these covers when we've been.
She is a New York Times best-selling author, but is very famous right now. She, I think, got TikTok famous somehow, but I like her stuff. It's very lighthearted, very but she like has the ability to have the deeper characters which you need for that movie, book, whatever. So I think it would be good.
All right. You did it again, Lauren. You gave your little second answer, and now you get to roll
right.
and go first. No, it's okay. It's just funny.
I rolled 11 again, and I rolled 19. 8.
Nope. 8. There we go. We got a new one. What is a book that you love but would never recommend to someone else?
I don't know that I love any books that I would never recommend. I think I would never recommend certain books that I enjoy to you guys specifically because I know you already hate this author. Like anything by Ruth Ware, I would never recommend to you, even though I enjoy some of her writing. I've read books by her that I didn't like as well, but I overall don't hate her. Like, and I feel like you guys just vehemently hate her.
I tried 2 of her books. I feel like I give the old college try.
That's fair,
and it was not great.
But I would recommend. Like, there's nothing that I love that I would be like, oh, I can never recommend this to anyone.
That's fair.
I think it would only be specific people that I know like don't like certain things.
I guess it's you, Barbara.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I feel the same way because I feel like there are certain books that I know just like Lauren wouldn't want to read it, so I would not recommend it to her. Or like Michael wouldn't want to read it, so I wouldn't recommend it to him. So I feel like this is kind of hard because somewhere out there, someone will want to read it. So I don't know. And if there is a book that I would absolutely love and will not recommend to anyone, why would I say it here? So I guess I plead a fifth on that one.
I guess it's like if you read like ogre smut or something freaking weird, like
that why is that weird, Lauren?
Yeah, why are we judging?
Why are we judging?
We listen
this
and we
is
don't
a free
judge.
Judging zone.
Okay,
here.
so I had a friend recommend to me a book. I said, hey, I've never read smutty books, and my book club really likes these smutty book authors, and I am not into smut. Like, I've never read it before. I have read what I thought was smut. It was not. So then I had somebody recommend me a book that is Ice Planet Barbarians. Listeners, don't read it.
I know what that is. I saw it on TikTok.
Don't read it. In the abstract, it sounds like a nice sci-fi. I'm like, oh, we're mixing sci-fi and smut. My friend recommended it to me because she knows that I now like sci-fi.
That's like going from 0 to 100.
But it's not, because it's not even that smutty, but it's weird smut. It's like, it's like, can we say like anatomical terms without you having to bleep it? Okay, so it like it's taking somebody that's never read any smut and then basically saying, okay, now you're going to read, and obviously I did audiobook because of time, so it was even worse.
Oh, that's even worse.
You're going to listen to this book about giant ridged alien penises and then like it's like blue or purple, it's like some weird color. So like, anyway, to each their own. I'm sure that really gets people off. However, if you're into ogre smut, we listen to me, don't judge. But I am not, for future reference of anybody listening to recommend me books, do not recommend me alien smut. It's not my thing.
That's so. Why would she do that to you?
I think it was because she knows that like I like sci-fi. I'm more into sci-fi books now, and like I'm not. I said I wanted something with at least some plot, because there are some people in my book club that literally they just read straight porn.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need like a little bit of plot, like mixed in with the smut. And this does have plot, like it does. Like,
so you need to eat. You need to read, and you'll get it. And rice, I like rice, so that's why I say eat. Anyways, Anne Rice, she's got some really good. If you know Anne Rice, like The Interview with a Vampire, all of those books. So she has written some books that are spicy, but also with plot. And so I feel like if that's what
I'm reading right now,
you need to do that.
I'm reading Neon Gods. We've taken a real big turn, okay? But I'm reading Neon Gods.
This is a bonus episode. This is a bonus episode. All right.
I'm reading Neon Gods right now, and it is about like the Persephone and Hades dynamic. And so like there's enough plot. It does have smut, right? It's about kind of like exhibitionism and like whatever. So like there's spicy scenes for sure that are like I would consider it more on the smut side, but it's not like, I don't know, like there's enough plot and it's interesting and it's not weird. Like literally these girls were like abducted into like space, the alien one, like the ice planet barbarians, and like they're prisoners, and then all of a sudden it's just bad. It should have some trigger warnings first, and then second of all, it's I don't know. And she was like, oh well, I mean it was sci-fi, my bad.
Oh my gosh. I would not take recommendations from that ever again. No.
She's recommended me some other categories of really good books, but like for that, I feel like I still give her shit for it. So,
a book I would never recommend. I'm sitting here trying to think of it, and I think the only thing that I can think of is one that I read recently, and it's Pacific Vortex by Clive Cussler. It's the first book in his extremely popular Dirk Pitt series. Older books. The book came out. I just had it. It came out in the 80s, 1983. And you know what? It's just not good. There's a lot of really problematic stuff that, maybe would have been less problematic or at least not talked about as much in the 80s. I personally didn't like it, couldn't get into it, wouldn't recommend it. That's just me. Maybe I'll give one of the other ones. It's like 30 books in that series. That was the first one. Maybe that was the problem, but I wouldn't recommend that book.
3.
If you could swap lives with any book character for a day, who would it be?
Oh, whose powers do I want? Oh man, there's so many of them. Like, I'm strictly basing this on just powers, like not how crappy like the world is or like the situation that they're stuck on. So just keep that in mind, because that's what I'm going through. Because like,
fair.
If you think about it, like what person has cool powers and then is dealing with like the end of the world or people trying to murder you, like, so it's kind of like we can't focus on that. We need to focus on the cool powers.
Focus on the cool powers, not on the fact that the world is ending.
Exactly. And right now the one that comes to mind is the Legendborn series. I would want to have Bree's power because I can't spoil anything, but she has really cool powers, so that would be my pick. That would be your pick. Sweet
from Bree from Legendborn. That's a solid choice.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, who has cool powers? That's the first one that came to mind. There's like so many cool powers people have, but I think that or Harrow from the Locked Tomb series. I like her powers.
Okay, I can see that one. Yeah. So, those are both good. Both worlds cool you probably wouldn't want to live in for very long.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to live in either world. It literally, nor deal with either problems that they as characters have to deal with. I just want to be me in my world with these sweet powers, because like that would just make my life so much cooler.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I would, since just for a day, it's a little bit easier, right? Because you don't have to, you're not stuck in that world. I feel like that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
normal
yeah.
question here, right? Like you're stuck in the world. Be one of two. So it would either be, I would pick Harry Dresden from the Dresden Files because modern day wizard. So you'd still have like the conveniences of being in Chicago. But the irony is that I work in IT and Harry Dresden cannot be around electronics because magic messes everything up. So I'd have to be completely technology free, which would be could be peaceful. I don't know. You never know. Could be nice. Plus, he has really cool magical powers, interacts with a lot of really cool paranormal stuff that's usually terrifying, but would be kind of cool to see for a day. And then the other one I thought of was Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive series. As long as I could pick what day I jumped in, because like at the beginning of the Stormlight Archive, he's like doing slave labor, and I don't really want to jump in and just for a day of that wouldn't be very fun. But
You don't want to? Why not?
later on, when he gets his powers and stuff, that'd be cool. Yeah, Lauren, what about you?
It would probably have to be Fred or George Weasley. Obviously,
good choice.
Pre and
mm.
yeah, I mean pre spoiler.
Barbara's
So
face, that was great.
And I think if I could choose when to jump in, it would definitely be like a Diagon Alley situation, like in their cool like freaking joke
magic shop
situation, and getting to just like do all of the fun magical things. But then I would want to end my day back at Hogwarts, and it's Christmas at Hogwarts, and that would be like the perfect day.
I feel like it would be more fun to jump into the day where they're testing these back on with the students back in Hogwarts.
Yeah, but I want to see Diagon Alley in person, so I want to do both. I want to be. It needs to be on a Diagon Alley day, to where like I get to go, and then like, and then I get to go back to Hogwarts and see both. If I only have the one day.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I feel like she's thought about that before. Like there was some specificity there. All right, that was Barbara's roll. Let me see what I get. The 2. I already did that one. 18. That's a new one. All right. If you were to give a book as a gift to everyone you know, what would it be? If I was to give a book as a gift to everyone I know.
One book to literally everyone you know.
Correct. Like you're like for Christmas you're buying this book and however many copies you need for gifts, and that's all you're giving out this year is a copy of this book.
So it has to be, well, I guess it doesn't have to be. You could give somebody a book they don't like, but it has to be like
sucker
applicable to the
You know what? I'm gonna stick with
Michael, that's mine.
It can't be yours. You've never read the book. I was
like, I thought you were gonna do one that you already answered earlier. Never mind.
I mean, I am doing one that I've talked about. It would be The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. First book in the Stormlight Archive. I love that series. No one else reads them that I know. I have no one to talk to about it. And if I give them to everybody, then that increases the odds that somebody in my life that I love enough to give a gift will hopefully love me enough to read it. And then we can talk about it. And that's why I choose that one. It's incredibly selfish motives.
Michael, is that what I'm getting for Christmas?
You are now. Yeah.
You said it was bookish.
The other thing is bookish. We're going to get this book also. A nice copy of it. You could start the series. It's only your favorite thing ever.
How long is it?
It's 1,007 pages. The first.
I was talking last night to one of James's coworkers about Brandon Sanderson books at his Christmas party, which is hilarious because James doesn't read, but his coworkers I got along with fine.
That's funny.
And we were talking about that, and he's like, "Yeah, it's only like a 52-hour listen," and I was like, "Whoa."
Oh,
I was like, that's a lot of listening.
That's a lot of hours.
Even at 1.5, which is what I usually listen at, I think that'd probably still be a good solid 45.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah. It's a long book. And there's multiple books in the series, but that's what I'd pick for totally selfish motivations.
Fair enough.
What about you, Lauren? You're next.
I feel like most people already have a lot of the books that I would think of first.
I mean, you're clearly thinking about giving that book that you were talking about before, but you hated, right? That someone recommended to you.
Ice Giants.
Yeah, the Ice Planet Barbarians.
Yeah, the one that you said no one should read.
I feel like that would be like if I were really mad at everyone I loved.
It's been a like bad year.
We had a falling out or something right before Christmas, and I'm like, let's gift everybody.
That
I mean,
funny.
I did tell a couple people that they should read it, and then I gave them all of the trigger warnings and told them about it just so that I'd have someone to process my trauma with.
That's funny.
They didn't read it though.
They opted out.
They did.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead and you can give your answer. I keep talking over you. I apologize.
If I could afford it, I would probably gift everyone like the really pretty like Harry Potter full complete set, like the gift of, like the collectible set. Let me find a picture and if that way you can picture it. However, I recognize that most people already own those books. A lot of people in our demographic already own those. But one second, let me figure out what it's called.
Harry Potter.
For those of you just listening, Lauren shook her head at Barbara.
If she gave me the stink eye. While we wait, I guess I can answer. So, I'm in between two, and I don't know which one I want to pick, but I kind of want to say I would make everyone read Babel by R.F. Kuang, because I think it's a very important message, and it's very blatant what the message is. So, like, if you're one of those readers, and I'm not trying to be rude to you, but a little, if you read a book and you miss the message, like, I feel like you really have to not have very great reading comprehension if you read this book and do not understand what she is saying. Because at times I feel like it's a little over the head, a little too much, but that would be the one little thing. But I would say that book, because I think it's an important thing for other people to realize. And if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. So that would be my pick.
We got to get that back on the podcast list. I would like to read that and talk about it.
No one's stopping you from doing that. So
it's true.
We'll just say that out loud now, and everyone here knows.
All right, Lauren, do you have what you wanted to show us?
I do. So this will never actually happen because it's $390 per set. But it's the Juniper books, so people can look it up. Juniper books, Harry Potter box set. I'm going to send it to you guys in the chat. But ever since it came out, I have been envying it, but I will never actually purchase it because it's expensive.
Oh, wow.
But they're really pretty, and they would look really pretty on my bookshelf.
They are pretty.
So. I have heard of these.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of Juniper books before too.
I just think that they're very aesthetically pleasing. And I don't know, because sometimes I like having like the sets all look the same, you know, but I liked these because they're very unique. And
have you noticed that the Hufflepuff color is the only one that has one of?
Wow.
Only one that has what?
One of, because they're based off of the houses.
Yeah. Not shocking. Still pretty good.
Always getting left out.
No, actually Ravenclaw's the one who's actually gotten left out the most, because Gryffindor and Slytherin are in the main books, and then Hufflepuff is with the atrocious, we don't talk about that series except for the first one because it was glorious, and we don't talk about the other two. And then Ravenclaw hasn't had crap, so.
Well, so I guess you can't just, for those of you listening, you can't just Google Juniper books Harry Potter, because there's about 1 million different really cool sets. Because I just scrolled down and it's like, you might be interested in these others, and there's like 1,000 options, but this is the one that I'm talking about. Is like I don't know, they're each different. It's not like all of the books together make a picture.
It's water resistant, is that true?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
They're very expensive. I've never actually owned them, and I probably would never actually purchase them, but this is a hypothetical world, so
it's true. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Oh, it's the actual books, and it's just a different cover on it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like water resistant.
Like they're fancy.
Oh, interesting. I just like the water resistant. Why aren't they all like this? Because they're like $380. Anywho.
Yeah, Lauren, it is your role.
9. Did we do 9?
Nope, we have not.
Okay.
If any book you can think of had a holiday-themed sequel, or like a holiday-themed book in a series, if it's a series, which book would you pick, and what would the holiday-themed part of it be about?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind would be Legends and Lattes, but that's just because it's really like recent and it's already cozy. So maybe we could do like Legends and Lattes, but at Christmas.
I would read that. I mean, I'm not going to lie and pretend that I wouldn't. I would read that book.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
You could even do like a Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't know if they celebrate Thanksgiving there, but you know, like you could do like a holiday season book.
Yeah, it's a fantasy world. They celebrate whatever you want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be my pick.
I dig it. Barbara?
One more time the question?
Yeah, of course. If a book had a holiday-themed sequel, which one would you pick, and what would it be about?
The book, which one would I pick, and what would the theme be about, or like the book would be about?
Yeah, so like, what book or book series would you want a holiday-themed book that
I
took place
see.
in that series?
So I kind of want to pick a series that I've already finished with and that I want like more of, I guess I would say.
Okay.
And I would pick, oh, what is the actual series called? Apparently, the series are called Gemma Doyle series. The first
Okay.
book is A Great and Terrible Beauty by the author is Liba Bray. So I would want another book on that one only because I really liked the character in the world, and the holiday that we would celebrate would be Dia de los Muertos. And if you know, you know why. There is a certain character that I really enjoy, and if you know what that holiday is for, then you know why I'm picking this. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to
I feel like
ruin the book.
that was like a very smart thing to pick.
Thank you. Thank you. So that would be it because
That was
I
good, yeah.
absolutely loved that book series, loved a certain character, and it broke my little black shriveled heart.
I don't know what I want to choose. This is a tough one. The first thing that came to mind, I looked up, and I was going to pick Alex Cross, but then I realized and remembered that Alex Cross, there's already a Christmas book. I've read it. It's Merry Christmas, Alex Cross. James Patterson already did that. So that happened in real life. Series of books, or I guess it has to be Christmas. I keep thinking Christmas because it's like December, but
Right. I'm thinking horror.
I like that. I like that you switched it up a little
I
bit.
know.
But that doesn't help me at all.
Does Stephen King have Christmas already? Probably.
Probably.
Salem's Lot, Christmas.
Pet Cemetery Christmas.
Could be
All the
interesting.
dead animals
I don't
have
know.
cute little Santa Claus hats
Oh,
on.
listen, Pet Cemetery Dias de los Muertos.
It's
Actually,
already
I
like
do. I know what I would pick. I would pick the Realm Breaker series by Victoria Aveyard.
okay.
And I would not want it to be at the end. I would want her to write a book that took place after the party all got together, and it would be like a novella about them like celebrating
Oh, that would
some
be fun.
holiday that took place in that world
Yeah.
together. That would be a very
That
fun
would be
little
fun.
like
Just
novella.
for funsies, since it's kind
Yeah.
of dark and depressing.
Yeah. And that's why it would have to take place earlier, like
Right.
before it got
before
and
it got
depressing.
even darker and more
even
depressing.
darker and more depressing. Yeah. So yeah, I would pick that. I would pick, and it could be any holiday. Victoria Aveyard could invent the holiday that they're celebrating, but that would be a fun.
You should
little
write
novella.
that to her. Be like, this is what I need. Thank you.
This is what I'd like you to write next. Thanks so much. So that would be my pick.
Fun.
I believe
I
it's
just
Barbara's
muted myself.
turn.
I know. I just muted myself, and it started talking. So there's a problem. I rolled a 15, and I don't think we've done that before.
We have not done 15. What is the weirdest or most unexpected book you've ever loved? So a book that you did not think that you would like, but you
Lauren's
read
like,
it.
I just said it, but I loved.
Yeah, so it's something that was unexpected. You didn't think you'd like it, and you did.
Oh, you know what? The first one that came to mind, and it's not that it's weird, so I don't want to say that it's weird. It's just one that I did not think I would actually enjoy, and I really enjoyed it. And now the name of it is blanking, but I know if I tell you guys, you would know. Would be the, I guess, would you call it sci-fi one with the not time traveling, but like the multiple.
That's what I was gonna pick.
What you know?
Yeah, like Dark Matter. Or
Dark Matter.
Dark Matter.
Blake Crouch. All of these. Yeah.
Yes, that would be it, because I went into that being like, it's just gonna be one of those that I'm just gonna have to grit my teeth and read it, and it'll just be fine, and I might not absolutely hate it, but it just won't be something that I enjoy. And I was hooked, and I really enjoyed it all the way to the end. I was like theorizing the whole time. I was it's funny because it's that kind of. I like that kind of theme, but I've read some books that just don't do a good job with it, and so that's what I was expecting. And he did such a good job balancing like the actual mechanics of how this is happening with just the story and character driven, and I appreciate that because sometimes I feel like they try too much to explain it in like the scientific, and then you lose people. And so I think it would be that one for me.
That was a good one. I do I feel like Lauren was probably going to pick that too, since that was like her first one she really liked from sci-fi. I'm going to say not one that I didn't think that I would like. I didn't go into it thinking I would hate it, but it's not one I would pick for myself. And it was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have a vivid memory of us talking about the month before we were doing that, and Lauren read the preview, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one. It's not my type of book. I loved that book. I really, really liked it. And I think on some level, like, that can only happen to a book that you think you're not going to like, but then you end up really liking. And that was definitely one of those for me. I was not super excited to read that book, and I got hooked into it and just like blazed through it. I really liked it. So Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is my answer.
Mine was also going to be Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Originally, when he was reading the question, before he said "in loved," and he just said like the weirdest book you've ever read, it was going to be Ice Planet. But then he's like, "and you loved it," and I'm like, "Yeah, that doesn't track." It would probably be the Dark Matter. I think if I can't repeat what Barbara did, then I would probably choose Elantris, just because that was like an early podcast book.
It was.
That was.
And I really did not want to read it, and I was not looking forward to reading it, and I surprisingly liked it. So,
all right, it is my turn, and I will roll for our last question, and I rolled a 20, natural 20, woo, for the D&D people. Here's the question: what is a bookish tradition you have around the holidays? If you don't have one, what is one that you would create? And so I'll answer first. And it's not, we're not going to call it a tradition because we haven't done it every single year. But there have been a number of years, whereas for Christmas, or part of Christmas for Barbara, we'll go to Barnes and Noble, and we'll do a shopping spree, a book shopping spree, and that's part of her Christmas gift. And it's so fun to go and do that. And like, I don't know, we never videoed it for TikTok or anything like you've seen on TikTok, but it's fun to walk around the store with her and have her like fill up the basket and do all of that. That's a very fun bookish tradition-ish thing that we have, since we've done it a number of times. But I always really like doing that with you. It's fun.
It's very nerve-wracking trying to pick that many books in like a minute.
Yeah, it's never been a minute. I've never done.
You wanted me to do it in a minute, and I cried about it.
So we extended it.
That's funny. Mine would probably be, I host an annual like Christmas book swap party here at the house. We've done it for 4 years now, I think, with book club, and it's like book club people, but then it's also just it's not exclusively book club.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it doesn't have to be a holiday themed book, but you choose a book that you have read and enjoyed, you wrap the book, and then you put a like note card or some way on the outside. You can't spoil the book, so like you have to write down like the reason that you love the book, but you can't provide like a genre. You can't provide any kind of like super identifying, like if you wrap Harry Potter, like you wouldn't be like, oh, a boy finds out he's like, you couldn't do anything that would spoil what the book is.
Is it like kind of like the book with a date book or book date? Or
kind of, yeah. So like the blind date with the book,
yes,
except for that, I think it at least gives you like, it gives you more information on those, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
We basically just, you have to put like why you love it, and I guess you can kind of put the genre, like you could, like twisty psychological thriller or something, and then why you like it. Some people will put like however many stars they gave it on Goodreads, like some people don't. And then basically all of the books go into a basket, and then we do like a big, I don't know, charcuterie, and everybody brings food and drinks and kind of do like a holiday party. But then we do the exchange like Secret Santa style. So like
oh, that's fun.
You like get to choose a number, and like that person opens their book, and then as people are going, like you get so many steals or whatever. So then you have to like gamble. Do I want this book that I know that I want, or do I want to keep, like, yeah. So it's fun. We do it. We've done it for several years.
Fun. I wish I had friends to do that with.
Listen, if you guys ever come home on Christmas in the future, I will plan it around like the dates that you'll be here, and you can come.
I will like know no one there and pick out the weirdest freaking book and be like, this bitch. Never again.
No.
Oh man, that would track for my life. Anyways, a book tradition. You know what? I kind of want to say I mean, we did start this podcast in October, which is close to the holidays, if you ask me. And I want to say the whole reasoning of why I wanted to do this was because we originally, like we mentioned previously, that I wanted to have my own book club, but pick the people I wanted to read books with. And so, if you guys will allow it, I would say this by far is my favorite bookish tradition during the holidays, because I actually am getting exactly what I wanted, which is reading books and talking about it with friends. And I don't want to get super sentimental, but that means the world to me that you guys do that for me. And I would say that is my favorite thing. And it's nice. I mean, yes, Michael and I have a lot of similar styled books that we pick, but it's really nice to have Lauren throw some ones in there that I wouldn't ever pick up and I have enjoyed for the most part. There's been some where
you better put that disclaimer on there.
But and even with Michael too, there's some stuff that I would never pick up because that's just not my thing with him, and that I have actually enjoyed. And so it's just made me a more well-rounded reader, I think, and it's been such a joy doing this with you guys. So I would say, if you allow it, this would be my pick.
Michael, let's take a sidebar and see if we want to allow that.
Just kidding. If you could take your headphones off for a minute.
No. We're putting this to a vote.
We love it too. It's a lot of fun. I guess I shouldn't say that for Lauren. I love it too. It's a lot of fun.
She's over here like, F you guys.
Nah, that's only sometimes.
Well, that'll do it for our holiday 2024 bonus episode. We hope you guys have as much fun listening as we did creating this. Just as a quick announcement, Badass Literature is going to take a short hiatus, which just means that we're not going to have a review episode this month. So I apologize for those of you that were looking forward to The Housemaid. We will be reviewing that in January, so you can look forward to that at the end of January.
The holidays got us busy.
Yep. And we will be excited to make more content for you in 2025.
Mm-hmm. Have feedback about today's episode, you can contact us by writing to badassliteraturesociety@gmail.com. I would like to just say I finally got used to saying that, and I'm so stoked about that. Anywho, yay! We celebrate the little things here. Anyway, you can also send us a DM or leave a comment on one of our many handles in social media.
Make sure you're following Badass Literature for free in your favorite podcast app. Give us a rating and leave us a review if they allow you to. Super helpful for the show, helps us get noticed, and also is good for feedback. Also, don't forget to be following us on social media. Our handle on both Instagram, Facebook, and Goodreads is at Badass Lit Pod. And with that, we hope all of our listeners have a fantastic end of 2024 and holiday season. We will see you all again next year. I'm Michael.
It's Barbara.
And I'm Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.